Welcome to the Beyond Bloated Podcast. I'm Carly, a certified health coach helping women ditch their bloat without having to follow super strict and stressful protocols. As someone who's struggled with all sorts of digestive issues for over 5 years, I know exactly how you're feeling. I also know that there's a way to feel better, and it doesn't have to involve tons of expensive supplements and insanely restrictive diets. Join me as I share all of my bloat-busting wisdom to help you say goodbye to that bloated belly and regain your confidence. It's time for you to move beyond bloated. When was the last time you had a bloat-free day? I'm talking you wake up with a flat stomach, you go through breakfast, lunch, and dinner, not bloated, and by the time you go to bed at night, your stomach is still relatively flat. I mean, obviously, you're eating 3 meals a day, maybe you're having a couple snacks, your stomach's going to grow a little bit. But we know the difference between holy shit, I'm bloated, and I ate a regular day's worth of food. So yeah, think about it. When was the last time you felt good the whole day? Bloating was non-existent. You didn't feel that heavy, weighed down feeling. Your bowels were probably solid because if you're constipated, you're probably bloated. Even if you're having diarrhea, you might still be bloated. All the other symptoms that go along with bloating, you didn't have them that day. You had a perfect day. When was the last time that happened for you? For me, I was bloated every single day for over 5 years. I mean it, every single day. There was not a day that went by that I did not experience bloating to some degree. There were definitely times when it was way worse, and there were times when it maybe was only noticeable to me, but I still noticed. So yeah, I spent over 5 years ashamed of my bloated belly. I hid in my baggy clothes, couldn't wear jeans. I wore like t-shirts and people would be like, "You're not bloated," because they couldn't see it. I'm thin, so I don't look overweight, but that's not the same as bloated. And I didn't wear crop tops. I didn't wear tight clothes. I didn't wear jeans, things that would have shown bloating. I also missed out on a lot of things because, as I'm sure you're aware, bloating comes with other symptoms. Mine came with food sensitivities, gas, diarrhea, constipation, extreme fatigue, plenty of other things that I've mentioned earlier. And as someone who does not enjoy feeling bad, I know there are some people out there who just eat the food that makes them feel like shit and is okay with it. They would rather feel bloated and uncomfortable than give up garlic bread, To each their own. But in my scenario, I was not having it. I was like, hey, I need to fix this. I can't live this way. So I did so many restrictive diets. I took so many supplements. I saw several different practitioners. It cost me a lot of money. And at the end of the day, I didn't really get anywhere. I did low FODMAP diet, gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, candida cleanse. I did a liver cleanse, which was the worst one by far, by the way. So I've done all these different restrictive diets, and at the end of it, I did not feel any better. I've also treated SIBO like 4 different times. I've taken tons of different supplements for the candida cleanse. I've done that a couple times. I've also taken this probiotic, that probiotic, different enzymes, blah, blah, blah. None of it really helped. I remember going into each one of these different protocols thinking, this is the one. This is going to fix me. I have SIBO. I just need to treat it. Or I have a candida overgrowth. I just need to take these supplements and kill the candida and I'll have my flat belly back. Every single time, even when I've done it like the 4th time, I'm still thinking this is the time. That is insanity looking back. Like, why am I doing the same shit over and over again and expecting different results? Nothing made my bloating go away. I mean that. None of the protocols, none of the restrictive diets. I will say that some of these things temporarily helped maybe other symptoms that I wasn't actually trying to resolve, but my bloating never went away. It took me years to stop obsessing over food, to stop thinking, what's the next diet I need to try, or what's the next supplement protocol I need to try. I did this for years and years and years. And even when I went to see different practitioners, holistic practitioners, naturopaths, they pushed me towards the same result. Try low FODMAP. Do the Candida cleanse. Take these digestive enzymes. Even though I have been doing this for years without any improvement, I was still pushed to try the next diet, the next supplement protocol, until I finally did my own research. I finally realized food is not the problem. There is no miracle supplement that's going to save my life. It's my habits. It's my day-to-day living that's going to improve my situation the most. Just think about it logically for a second. If you bloat every single day, no matter what you eat, maybe you eat the same thing every day, so you think that's the culprit. I would say the majority of people do not eat the exact same way every single day. So you're eating differently every day, and yet you're bloated every day. If you wake up bloated, you haven't ate in 12 hours, however long you fasted overnight. Why are you waking up bloated? If you go to bed bloated every single night and you ate differently, different times, why are you bloated? It's because the food is irrelevant at this point. You could eat lettuce all day, and I bet you would still be bloated. The issue with putting a diagnosis on things like saying you have SIBO or you have a candida overgrowth and you just need to kill it off or correct it. Why did it happen in the first place? Why did you develop SIBO? Why did the candida in your body grow out of control? These things don't just happen. Our bodies are actually very good at taking care of themselves, and if we provide them with the right tools, these things will not happen. And they also have the ability to correct these things to a certain extent. Obviously, there are different scenarios for different people, but in the majority of cases, we're just saying, I have SIBO, I have to kill it, and then I'll be fine. But say you do kill the SIBO. However you got the overgrowth in the first place, it's just going to come right back unless you've addressed the reason why did it show up to begin with. It is almost always our habits that create the environment for these overgrowths and bad bacteria to take place in our body. How we eat is just as important as what we are eating. What time you're going to bed and waking up every day is extremely important. How do you handle your stress? Do you handle your stress? All of these things impact gut health. I've talked about them on other episodes, so you know it's true. And yet we don't look at our day-to-day actions as being a part of the resolution. We can't just focus on food if we want to correct our gut health. If you have already mastered nutrition and you feel like you eat really well, you eat a healthy, balanced diet 80% of the time, yet you're still bloated and have other GI symptoms and don't feel well. If that is you, it is time to stop obsessing over what did I eat today to cause my bloating and start thinking about what actions did I take today? How did I live my life today? What am I doing in my day-to-day life that is causing me to bloat? That is the mindset switch that we are doing today. And I have created a free resource for you. So you don't even have to think about it. Just download the free resource, go to my website, beyondbloated.com/checklist, and you can download my Bloat-Free Day Checklist. I developed this checklist using the habits that I personally implement in my day-to-day life. I do almost all of these every single day because I have noticed the biggest improvement in my gut health by making these changes. I also help my clients make similar habit changes to improve their gut health because a lot of the times, the women that come to see me already eat relatively healthy. I would actually argue that they eat too healthy and they are way too restricted. They aren't eating enough calories, period. And they are just so heavily focused on the food, what they're eating. They're scared of eating, which is why they're not eating enough. I don't want to start with food for a lot of them because food is already a big obsession and a problem. So instead, we look at other aspects of their life. By changing those habits, they start to notice improvements in how they feel. And then we're able to eat more variety of foods, eat more calories, and then that improves how they feel even more. It's kind of like a snowball effect. I believe just changing any habit, it doesn't have to be in order of the checklist. It can be any order that you prefer. Pick a habit that stands out to you, that jumps out to you as like, I've been wanting to do that, or, that sounds like something I can do. Start with that one. There's no particular order or order of importance. You need to do these habits in this order. Pick what stands out to you and start there. I have broken the checklist into different sections to make it more manageable and easier to read. So I have habits that you can start doing in the morning, throughout the day, in the afternoon, in the evening, and things that you can be doing any time of day. I'm going to give you a little taste of what's inside the Bloat-Free Day Checklist by going over my favorite habit from each section. Now, this doesn't mean you have to start with this habit. These are just things that I prioritize myself. These are things that really benefited me, and I saw a massive improvement in my gut health from doing. But of course, you are not me. So if any of these habits do not appeal to you and you're not interested in doing them at this moment, that's no problem. I made an entire resource full of habits that will benefit your gut health. So I don't expect you to do every single one on the list, but if you can slowly start pecking away at them, you will start to feel better. So download the free resource and take a look, go through it and pick the ones that stand out to you. But now I'm going to tell you my favorites. In the morning section, I have a few habits listed, but my personal favorite is making a mindful breakfast choice. This means that you are choosing a breakfast that's high in protein, ideally 20 grams or more. It's low in sugar, something like overnight oats, chia pudding, egg and avocado on sourdough, or even a protein smoothie with gut-friendly ingredients. This has been a game changer for me. Back in the day, high school, university, even just out of university, my breakfast was straight sugar, toaster strudels, Eggo waffles, pancakes, French toast, cereal, and not any sort of fancy, healthy gut health cereal like cornflakes, Lucky Charms, all that shit. That's what I ate for breakfast. Maybe I'd have a bagel with butter. Hey everyone, Carly here. If you are tired of feeling bloated and uncomfortable, which I know you are, I have something that can really help. My free ultimate guide to bloat busting. I've been there myself, and I know how frustrating it is to try super restrictive diets and expensive supplements without getting results. If those methods were going to work, they would have worked by now. That's why I created this guide to offer you a different approach. In the ultimate guide to bloat busting, you'll learn techniques to listen to your body and eat with intention, avoiding overeating and choosing foods that truly benefit you, tips for proper hydration to support digestion and reduce bloating, a guide to delicious foods that promote a healthy gut and how to easily incorporate them into your meals, and effective methods to manage stress, which plays a huge role in gut health. These simple, practical strategies can make a big difference in your daily life, helping you feel lighter, more energized, and comfortable in your own skin. Ready to ditch the bloat without strict diets or costly supplements? Download your free copy today at beyondbloated.com/ultimate-guide and start your journey to a bloat-free life. Now, let's get back to it. If you're noticing the trend, all of these are very high in sugar and have next to no protein in them. This would explain why I was starving immediately after. I would have breakfast, go to high school, and I would be hungry, like as soon as I got to high school. After first class, I was literally starving. So then I would eat another sugary snack, like a Rice Krispie square or some sort of sugar-filled granola bar. Again, no protein. I was exhausted all the time. And it wasn't until, I would say, maybe a couple of years ago that I really started to prioritize having like a healthy, protein-rich breakfast. And I have noticed a massive improvement in my energy levels and in my hunger levels. Like, I was always hungry. I was like, what the hell's wrong with me? I eat so much. Why am I always hungry? It's because my breakfast was not filling me up. There was nothing substantial there. So I would eat it. My body would burn through that in 2 seconds. And then it'd be like, okay, more. Where's the food? Where's the real food? So if I could pick one thing off of the morning checklist, I would start with a mindful breakfast choice. That is my personal favorite. That is what I prioritize over everything on that list. That being said, I prioritize a high protein meal at all of my meals. I think it's especially important to start with it for breakfast, but lunch and dinner, I'm aiming for at least 20 grams of protein because same thing. I want to keep my blood sugar levels balanced so that my energy is strong and I don't have an afternoon crash. But I also don't want to feel hungry all the time. Like, I already have a very fast metabolism, and I used to snack constantly throughout the day, which is an issue. You'll see that on my checklist. So prioritizing a protein-rich meal, especially at breakfast, but also at lunch and dinner, has been a game changer for me. And I would recommend it to anyone else. Aim for 20 or more grams of protein at every meal. It'll change your life. The next section is things that you can do throughout the day to prevent bloating. And my ultimate favorite in this section is chew your food thoroughly. Take your time to chew each bite to applesauce consistency to aid digestion and reduce the likelihood of swallowing air, which can cause bloating. I used to eat at the speed of light. I would be the first one done every meal. I would sit down and just inhale it, and then I'm up. I'm done. Don't even think I tasted my food. I know it sounds silly to be like, chew your food. What do you mean? Of course I chew my food. If you sit down at your next meal, try to focus on it. Notice how much you're chewing your food. Are you putting in the food and then chewing 2 times and swallowing? Because I talked to my boyfriend, Liam, and I'm like, you don't chew your food, man. And he's like, yeah, I'm chewing it. And he's like, I just chew really fast. But there's no way you're chewing that fast that you're done 4 times faster than I am. Try to focus on your meal, how you're chewing. You don't even have to change anything at this point. Just notice. Notice how you're chewing your food. Is there room for improvement? Do you think you could chew your food more? The reason why chewing our food is so important is, for one, if you're eating your food super fast, you're not chewing your food and you are swallowing air, whether you notice it or not. And if you're swallowing down big gulps of air, that's getting trapped in your digestive tract and that's causing bloating. That's the least of the worries, though. The biggest issue is if you're experiencing bloating and other digestive issues, you probably have an impaired digestive system to some degree. So your body is already struggling to digest food. Now you're throwing down these massive hunks of protein and other food particles, and your body is like, oh my God, we have to deal with this? Are you kidding me? It's already struggling, and you're making your gut's life that much harder by not just chewing your damn food. Our guts don't have teeth down there. It's not easy to digest big chunks of food for anybody, but especially if you have impaired digestion. So just chew it as much as you can, and it makes the digestion process so much easier for our gut. Moving into the afternoon, my favorite, most prioritized habit here is incorporating gentle movement. Engage in light physical activity like a short walk or stretching to stimulate digestion and prevent bloating. If you work a desk job like I do, go for a short 10-minute walk every hour or 2. This is more important than I realized. I didn't notice that I felt so heavy and bloated and blah after eating and just sitting down. You have your breakfast and then you sit and you do your job. And then you take a break for lunch and then you sit and then you have dinner and then you sit on the couch and you watch TV. All that food is just sitting. And like I said earlier, we have impaired digestion and it's harder for our bodies to digest. And it just feels like it's sitting there like a big old lump. If I go for a walk after a meal, even if it's just 10 minutes, even if it's just walking around my condo, putting the dishes away, doing the laundry, cleaning up the counters, whatever, I'm up in moving after my meal, I'm not just eating my meal and then sitting for another hour or two. I feel so much lighter. I feel like I don't get as bloated. I don't get gassy. My food just feels like it moves through the digestive system as it should, and it's not sitting there like a lump weighing me down. If you haven't tried going for a walk after your meals, give it a go. I swear it is life-changing. I even dread now going to like dinners or friends' houses for dinner, whatever, because I know I can't just get up and walk away after we're done eating. So if I go to a restaurant and we eat, and then maybe we sit there for another 30, 40 minutes, chatting, and I'm just sitting there with this food in my stomach, and I have the urge to get up. I'm like, I need to get up. I can't sit here. I have to go for a walk. My friend the other day, we went out and we got ice cream, and we ate our ice cream. We were sitting there, and she recommended, she said, hey, do you want to walk? Like, I don't want to sit here. And I was like, yes, thank you. Like, this is so great because I didn't want to sit here and talk with this big ice cream lump in my stomach. So we ate our ice cream, we got up and we walked for like 20 minutes and I felt great after. So if you're struggling with the feeling of having a rock in your stomach after eating, try going for like a 10-minute walk, or like I said, just walk around your house, do chores. Just try not to sit. Don't eat and then sit. Now we're into the evening, and I must say, this is hard for me to choose. There are quite a few on here that I really do make a priority because I have noticed a massive improvement in my health by doing these things. So this is a tough one, but I am going to go with limit alcohol consumption. And some of you may be rolling your eyes and being like, no, Carly, I'm not giving up my wine. To each their own. But I'm telling you, I do not drink alcohol at night 99.9% of the time. I mean, I don't even really drink that much anymore, period. But like, it's not worth it for me to go out for dinner and have a casual glass of wine. I cannot do it. Even a glass of vodka water or whatever alcohol it is, it's not worth it for me. It destroys my sleep. I notice it so significantly. Just one glass of alcohol in the evening, my sleep is ruined. Alcohol, of course, also irritates the digestive system, and that contributes to bloating. So if you're drinking alcohol in the evening, our digestive system is already slower at that point, and now you're kind of throwing some fuel on the fire, so you're more likely to be bloated. And also, if you're not sleeping well, you might be bloated the next day. I know that happens for me. If I get not enough sleep, if I have a terrible sleep, my body is just done with me. I'm more likely to be constipated, which is going to cause me to be bloated. So alcohol in the evening is so rare for me these days because I just know it's messing me up. Like if I'm going to drink at night, I'm throwing in the towel. I'm like, yeah, I know this is going to mess me up, but I'm accepting it. It's not like, oh, maybe it'll be fine. I know it's not fine, but sometimes I do it anyway, and that's on me. But I know the consequences, and I'm not willing to make that sacrifice almost all of the time. A lot of people think that having a glass of wine or their scotch at night helps them sleep because you may fall asleep quicker, but the quality of your sleep is worse. You don't go through the stages of sleep like you should, so you end up having a lighter sleep. If you're just having like a tossy-turny type of sleep, it's not good quality sleep, and you probably notice you don't wake up feeling rested. Even if you fell asleep, no problem, and maybe you got like the 8 hours, but it wasn't good quality sleep, so you still wake up feeling tired, and you probably have a headache, and you may even be bloated. While we're on the topic of sleep, the final section is habits for any time. And without a doubt, my non-negotiable is having a consistent sleep schedule. Going to bed and waking up at the same time each day to maintain a healthy circadian rhythm. A regular sleep schedule can improve overall digestive health and reduce stress, which can help prevent bloating. I am a cranky bitch if I don't get my 8 hours. I actually aim for 8.5 hours because I know that's when I feel my best, but I can get away with 8. My family and my friends make fun of me because they're like, oh, it's 10 p.m. Carly can't play another round of our game because she needs to go to bed. And I'm like, yeah, actually, I do need to go to bed because I'm tired. I've trained my body to feel tired at 10 p.m. So I wind down and I'm usually lights out by 10:30, and my alarm for work goes off between 6:30 and 7, and I'm able to get up and I feel okay and I'm ready for the day. So I don't get tired throughout the day. I don't have afternoon crashes, but I feel tired by 9:30, 10. I'm lights out by 10:30, and then when my alarm goes off, I've had my 8.5 hours of sleep and I'm ready. And if I don't get that, I don't feel well. Like, I feel tired, obviously. Sometimes I'll have a headache. I'm more likely to be constipated, which is more likely to be bloated. I just get thrown out of whack if I don't stick to a schedule. Our bodies actually thrive on routines. If you've noticed, when you go on vacation, your body kind of feels out of whack. Like, maybe you're constipated, maybe you're having diarrhea, maybe you're more bloated than normal, but you're not doing anything too crazy. I mean, you probably are drinking and eating a little differently and whatnot, but you're sleeping differently. And it's just like minor things that you're doing that you don't normally do. Your body's like, what the F is going on here? Like, we're confused. This isn't what we normally do. Our bodies like us going to bed and waking up at the same time. Our bodies also like us to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner around the same time. It helps, like, our bodies know, this is when I'm going to eat. I'm starting to feel hungry. I'm starting to prepare for digestion. A schedule isn't a bad thing. A routine is great for our bodies and can help us prevent the likelihood of bloating and gas and all those other nasty symptoms. So if possible, try to have a consistent sleep schedule. I really try to stick to it. Of course, there are days when I'm off and, I maybe go to bed at 11 and I actually notice it. Like, last weekend, I had family game night and I didn't get home till 10:30. By the time I, got ready for bed, in bed, lights out around 11. I didn't sleep as well because I was still kind of wound up from game night and I didn't have my usual wind down routine starting at 10. The next morning, I didn't feel well rested. It was the weekend and I got to sleep in, but I didn't feel well rested. I had a light sleep according to my Fitbit. I didn't drink. I didn't do anything crazy. I had game night. So yeah, I definitely try to stick to my sleep schedule. People make fun of me. I don't give a shit. Don't knock it till you try it. Get your 8 hours. You'll feel phenomenal. It's a real game changer and it helps bloating, I swear. So those are my 5 favorites off the list, one from each section. These are things that I really do prioritize because if I don't do them, I notice I feel worse. And when I do them, I feel great. These are things that I never used to do, okay? Don't think, oh, Carly's been healthy forever. This is easy for her. Absolutely not. It took me years to get to where I am. My friends still joke today about what a nightmare I was 6 years ago, in the sense that I ate like shit. I drank a lot. My sleep schedule was disgusting. I was not a healthy individual. I was actually the least healthy person in my friend group. And now I am easily the healthiest, and that's not a knock on them. It's because I really prioritize my health. I also have a very sensitive system, and I try my best to accommodate that, like, I know what my body wants and needs, and I like to feel good. So I do that. That doesn't mean I don't stray from these habits from time to time. I go on vacation too, and I actually feel a lot better now going on vacation when I stray from my habits than before, because I stick to them so consistently when I'm not doing holidays or whatever, taking time off, that when I do it, my body's like, yeah, we can handle this for a little bit because we know you're getting back to it soon. So I don't feel, fantastic when I stray from these habits for the time being, but I don't feel terrible. I used to feel terrible all the time. Check out my checklist, beyondbloated.com/checklist. It's completely free. I just went over 5 of the habits. There's plenty more on there. As I said, pick ones that you're drawn to, that you want to change. Don't force yourself. You're not going to make it happen if you are forcing yourself to do things. So pick something that you want to change and just start implementing it. As you make it an automatic habit, pick another one. And as you start to notice improvements in your health, that's going to motivate you to keep going and to stick to those habits. As always, if you have any questions about the checklist, let me know. You can reach me on Instagram at beyond.bloated or send me an email, carlyclose@beyondbloated.com. I'd also love to hear your thoughts on the checklist, good or bad. I want to hear it. And I'd love to hear about your progress too. So if you download the checklist and you start doing some of the things on there and you notice like, hey, I'm kind of feeling a little better, I want to know. This is why I made it. I made it for you to help you feel better. So if it's working, please let me know. It'll make my day, and it also helps me realize these resources are helpful so I can keep pumping them out for you. I hope you found this information useful and are able to start putting it into action so you can delete your bloated belly for good. Can't wait to hear about your progress. I'll talk to you next week. Thank you for listening to the Beyond Bloated Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to subscribe and leave a review. And don't forget to share this podcast with your fellow gut goddesses. If you'd like to chat about today's episode, send me a DM on Instagram at beyond.bloated. Until next time, bye!